I would like to thank Laura and Elena from MECOOL for sending me their newest Android media player for review. Has MECOOL finally created the holy grail of media players? Keep watching and we will find out. The top of the box is the MECOOL logo in gold embossed on a solid piece of plastic. On this side you have an infrared port, SPDIF, which is fiber optic, an AV port, HDMI 2.1, a gigabit Ethernet port, and the power adapter port. On the front you have three little slots for the LEDs. On this side you have two USB 2 ports, one micro SD card slot, and a reset button underneath. And this side you have nothing. And on the bottom you have a lot of ventilation holes. It comes with a 12 volt 1 amp power supply. It comes with an HDMI cable. It comes with a simple manual. It comes with this remote, but this remote is unusual. It has 4 different colored buttons and also the keypad. So this is a different remote control that comes with it. And what makes this media player so special? It comes with Dolby Vision. These are the specifications for the MECOOL KM2 PLUS Deluxe. Supports the AV1 decoding, HDR10 Plus, HDR10, HLG, HDR processing, and Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. That's the new one right there, Dolby Vision. It is the largest internal storage 4K Android TV box with Netflix certification. That's correct, it is Netflix certified. And here's some more specification. Wi-Fi 6, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi band. It's a gigabit Ethernet and Bluetooth 5.0. It uses the Amlogic S905X4-J. The J means it's Dolby Vision certified. Let's go connect it to the TV and let's see what it does. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and added some applications. So I'm going to go through those and show you how they work. I think the first thing we need to do is take a look at the settings. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take a look. All right, so I'm connected with Ethernet, but we will check the Wi-Fi performance in a little bit. So let's check out the device preferences. Okay, let's start with About. We already did a system update. There are no updates. I named it MECOOL KM2 PLUS Deluxe. I did that. You can perform a factory reset status, but I'm not going to show that. The Netflix and the Hellstrom version. It's a model 4K Android TV box running Android 11. And the security patch is September 5th, 2023. So there's the information there. There's the date and time. Language, you have all kinds of different languages. You've got a lot of them. There's a keyboard. I'm going to come back to the display and sound. Storage, you have internal shared storage is total of 28 gigabytes. And this is how the storage breaks down. I have available 25 gigabytes. Nothing on the home screen, Google Assistant, Chromecast built in, screensaver, I'll add something later, energy saver, accessibility, which I've never had an opportunity to use or need to use it, and the restart button. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the display and sound setting. Screen resolution. Those are the different available modes that you have. Now you have 3 options: always HDR, adaptive HDR, and HDR off. I'll explain more about that later. Okay, I do not use that. I'll turn it off. And system audio. Okay, you got SPDIF, which I'm not using. I'll disable that. And the Dolby AC-4. I will explain to that later. You got off, low, medium, and high, and I'll explain later what that means. And here's your focus. Here's your audio settings. You got auto. Use the formats that your device reports supporting, recommended. Never, but we're using surround sound system, so we are not going to use that. Then you got pass-through. According to compatibility of sync device, keep the original format output. So I keep that one on that one. So that's the end of the settings. Okay, now I have some like AIDA64 Wi-Fi speed test, all those. Before I get to those, that'll be the last thing I do. So I'm going to go ahead and start talking about some of these applications and how they perform. So that's what I'm going to do right now. The first thing you have is the HD Home Run. Now that is for the over-the-air antenna, which I use. I'm in North America, so I use the ATSC 1 and 3.
Boot tray, cup phone.
Now these are the AC1 channels, ATSC 1 channels. Now this one goes down to, starts with the 100 series, and that's the ATSC 3 channels. Basically, it's supposed to be a 4K channel, but there's nothing broadcast in 4K. But anyway, this is where you use that AC-4, the Dolby audio codec. So when you're playing that, you have to use that AC or codec. Now this is the interface of the HD Home Run, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Now this is the task, and these are the football games that will be recorded. It goes up to 14 days. Discover. These are all the TV shows and movies that is broadcast over the air for the next 2 weeks. You can pick them and record them. And this is EMBI. Now that uses a media center server running on another different device, but this is the application that uses the information that's running on a server on a different device. So this is the interface for that. Okay, that's what's coming on today. There's the guide. Channels, tags, etc. Recordings. Schedule, that's what's coming up that I've got scheduled to record from over the air. Anyway, that's EMBI. Next, you have Netflix. Now, this Netflix plays Dolby Vision with Dolby Atmos, so that's outstanding. Since I'm using a video capture card that does not support Dolby Vision, it does not show up there. If you notice, it only shows 4K, and that's because of my capture card. But it does play in Dolby Vision, and it outputs Dolby Atmos to my Yamaha receiver. The Apple TV app also plays in Dolby Vision with Dolby Atmos surround sound. Now here's Kodi. Kodi is for your personal media. Now I have a lot of DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks that I've ripped and put on different storage devices. And this scrapes all of those devices and displays them. Now, however, this device does not play in Dolby Vision unless you set the main setting to Dolby Vision. So it does not do it automatically. That's one of the drawbacks. Other than that, it plays in 4K perfectly, but I'm not getting any Dolby DTS HD, or am I getting True HD audio? All I'm getting is PCM. And here's Plex. And here's a pretty much interface, looks like Kodi, but this is Plex interface. Again, that's Plex. Now this is Voodoo, which has purchased videos. Unfortunately, Voodoo does not play in 4K at all because it requires a special certificate, just like Netflix. And most of these devices do not have that certificate. Very few devices actually plays Voodoo in 4K. But here's what the interface looks like. And those are my movies that I purchased. But again, it only plays in HD, not 4K, because lacking the certificate, just like Netflix. And there's the Google Play Store, strictly for Android TV version apps, not the full-blown store like you would find on a cellular phone. We'll take a quick peek of the DRM info. It's a Skyworth something TV box, Amlogic, and there's the Widevine. It supports HDCP 2.3, level 1. So there's the information on that. Now this is my most used app, the CX File Explorer. That is awesome. I can not only check the files on my device here, but more importantly, well, there's the library, but more importantly, I check the network. I can check my Google Drive, all that, but mainly I go to my local network. Now these are all my devices that I have on my network. Storage devices, I guess. Okay, that is one of my NASA's. That is a mini PC running a Linux Libre. And that's another server. And that's a Dune box. Anyway, I've got 2 hard drives on that device, 16 terabyte hard drives, so total of 32. And that's the device I'm using now. There's another device that's got 2 hard drives internal for another 32 terabytes storage. So this gives you everything. So I love this app. Okay, this is what we're going to use to check our internet speed test. Okay. It's pinging and it will run the test here shortly. Now this was on Ethernet. This is not Wi-Fi, this is Ethernet. So the next 2 tests will be Wi-Fi. So that is my speed right there. 222, that is what I'm paying for. So it maxes out my internet speed right there. Okay, I just disconnected my Ethernet. So now we're connected at my 5 gigahertz. Right there, we're connected to 5 gigahertz. So I'm going to go ahead and run that speed test again. Okay, this is the 5 gigahertz, and it is running as fast as the Ethernet. Same as Ethernet. Okay, now we're going to choose a 2 gigahertz. I believe it's 2 gigahertz. I'm getting old. Okay, now I'm connected. So now we're going to go back and run the speed test. So that's the 2.4. 52. That's very respectable. That will run any high definition or 4K video that you've got. So that's plenty powerful. So even if you're using Wi-Fi, this will work for you. Okay, now let's take a look at AIDA 64 and see what it shows. The system, it's a Skyworth. That's who manufactures it. Brand is strong. Okay, CPU. Display. And the home screen is 1920 by 1080. That's what all of them are. Network. And I'll show you the Wi-Fi later. Battery. This don't have a battery. Android. That's a advertisement. Android 11. Devices. Someone asked me about the different information on AIDA 64. I did not go all the way through these lists, and I guess some people like to look at some of this information, which it's all Greek to me. However, once we get to the codecs, that is important information for me. So anyway, that's devices. What's supported and what's not supported. Some people that makes sense to them, and I don't have a clue. Thermal, ain't got no battery. Sensors, ain't got no sensors. Alps, and codecs. Now these are the ones that tells you what it has. Now it shows that it has the decoder for the HD audios, but I cannot get them to play on my receiver. Okay, there it is right there, DTS HD. So it's got the decoder for that, but it wasn't playing it. There's your video codecs. There's AV1, which it played on, and there's Dolby Vision. And this device does support Dolby Vision. These are all your decoders. Here's your directories. And again, Android is an offshoot of Linux. I guess Linux was the grandfather of Android. So a lot of this stuff, people that are familiar with Linux, they'll feel very comfortable looking at this information. I've dabbled with Linux off and on throughout the years, but not my forte. Okay, here's your system files. Okay, by now it's probably pretty boring, so you could fast forward through this information if need be. And there's the About screen of Ada64. So, is this the Holy Grail? No, actually I think they've gone backwards on some of their other ones. They've got the certifications for everything, and the hardware is more than capable, but they've dropped the ball on a couple items. One, I get no high definition audio, no HD, true HD, and I get no DTS HD, so audio. So that's one failure right there. And there may be something in my setting, but I don't know. And the other setting is right here. The HDR policy. Now the adaptive HDR works perfect on the included apps. However, it does not work on my external media. So when I run Kodi or Plex, it does not have the adaptive HDR, so I do not get the Dolby Vision. I would have to turn on always HDR. I like it to where it determines what the media is I'm playing, whether it's Blu-ray or whether it's 4K or HDR, HDR10 Plus. That's what I like it to do. However, it's not doing that. So that's a couple things that they short on to keep it from becoming the Holy Grail. So that's my 2 cents worth. So again, thank you for watching. Okay, one thing I do want to mention, the MB. It's a cool little thing they have for the holidays. Holiday suggestions. Now again, these are my media. So it gives you a suggestion of what a good holiday video to watch. Polar Express, if you got kids, you got to watch that. Of course, you got Santa Claus, Home Alone, and you have to watch those, and Wizard of Oz. So anyway, that's MB what it shows.